Welcome to the Insider Hoops Report. I'm Jarret Johnson. I'm joined by the mighty Joe Yeager. Mighty Joe, man, 4-0 start by the Red Raiders. Back-to-back double-digit beatdowns of major opponents away from the USA. Wow. Just your overall thought on the start and then bringing home the hardware from the Tip-Off Classic there up in Connecticut.
Yeah, I mean, good Lord, this is just so much better than anything they did all last year,
Yeah.
and they weren't bad last year.
Right.
But I mean, getting these basically not true road wins, but away from home like this over very respectable opponents. I mean, Northwestern at the time, ranked number 23 in the country, a team that I believe was Elite 8 last year or right around there, had a great run.
They won a game in the tournament.
Yeah, they did some damage. A little bit of a Cinderella team, everybody's sweetheart. And Tech just went out there and decked them. I mean, that was one of the more impressive Tech wins in basketball I've seen in a very long time. So this start is great, and let's just hope they keep on building on it because they got everything in front of them. It's looking good. Just keep it up.
Yeah, like you mentioned, I mean, 35-point win over Northwestern, who was ranked number 20 at the time. Great win. Over the weekend, in those two games, those two wins over Boston College and Northwestern, you had your two senior leaders really step up. A big problem last year was finishing games. Well, Keenan Evans and Zach really came through in the clutch for you. Evans had a career high 29 against Boston College, followed that up the next day with 25 against Northwestern. Zach did a little bit of everything. Was dunking on people's heads when he wasn't swatting shots into the stands or starting breaks with his blocks and steals. Just great performances by those two guys, which, let's be honest, that's what you're going to need.
Yeah, that's right. Keenan has been doing it, I'm going to say all year, but it's 4 games. But from the very get-go, he's just been a pretty dominant guard right now. So he's done it for the first 4 games. Zach got off to a little bit of a slow start those first 2 games, particularly offensively.
Right.
But boy, he put it together up there in Connecticut. And so, that's what you expect from him, and I expect him to get rolling now. And when you got both of those guys playing like that, and you throw in all the other pieces around that, then Tech is a tough out.
Speaking of some of the other pieces, the young guns have really impressed Tech fans, and I think everybody who's followed the program so far this year. What do you think about some of those freshmen that have really showed out so far?
Well, I guess we can say Chris Beard and his staff are fairly decent talent evaluators, huh? They're hitting on them. These guys. You got the freshmen. You got the local guy, Jared Culver. You got Zaire Smith from the Metroplex. You got Little Italy from Davide Moretti. The 3 freshmen, they're all bringing something. I mean, high upside on all those guys, but they're not projects where they're having to get that upside later. I mean, they're climbing already and making big contributions right now. You bring in the transfers, Hamilton and Francis. Both of those guys making excellent contributions in lots of different ways. And with Hamilton, you got him and Odiase teaming up to be a pretty salty little center combination. Not dominant or anything like that. Not Akeem Olajuwon, but they're doing well enough. And Francis is doing all sorts of things in a lot of different ways. So the new group really looking good.
Have you seen, when was the last time you saw a Red Raider basketball team that was this athletic? I mean, these many guys. They may have 1 or 2 here or there, but as a whole, you got obviously the Z Smiths, both of them are amazing. But you have guys like Justin Gray. Keenan Evans is a very athletic guy in his own right. Brandon Francis. You go down the line. I know you've been a Red Raider fan and a huge basketball fan for decades. When was the last time you remember a team being this athletic?
Yeah, I've searched the memory banks and come up empty. Basically, wow. This is just right up there at the top. It's a much more athletic team than it was last year.
Well, yeah.
There's no question about it. You really upped it with what you've brought in and the guys that you lost last year compared to the new guys that no comparison whatsoever. Nothing against them, but that's just the reality of it. These guys really kick it up a notch. And then, Odiase losing that weight is a much more athletic player than he was before. He was kind of a big, bulky, kind of a maybe a little bit sluggish, but kind of a bruiser sort of a player. But he's much more agile now, and he actually looks like an athletic player. He can rise a little bit now, and so you just put all that together with the young guys and the athleticism that was coming back. Odiase and it's really an impressive group. The announcers, the ESPN announcers for that game against Northwestern, we're talking about how Texas Tech, out of the 4 teams that they covered, was clearly the most physically imposing team of all that group. And that's the truth. I mean, they're kind of a scary outfit to go up against.
Yeah, at this point, a lot of the guys, like I said, the Grays and the seniors, they're developed to a point where they are going to be athletically superior to like 90-95% of the, including the Big 12, the teams are going to play. Now, there's going to be some guys they play that are going to be amazing athletes, but that's pretty fun to watch. It's going to be fun to watch. Speaking of fun to watch, Tech has 2 games this week, both at home, one on Wednesday, one on Saturday, starting with Wofford, who's a pretty good squad, and then Savannah State on Saturday. Just give us a quick preview of those 2 games, Joe.
Yeah, I believe Wofford's 2-3 right now. They're out of South Carolina, playing the Southern Conference. They got a kid who's averaging 24 points a game. And is shooting 56% from the floor, and he's a guard.
Wow.
And then they got a 6'11" big who actually can play. And he's not just a big stiff or anything. He's got some skills. And a bunch of other, they got 3 other 6'9" guys on there. So this is not just a little rinky-dink outfit that they're playing. This team could put up a little bit of a resistance here. Yeah. Then Savannah State out of the MEAC conference. 1-4 right now, and in their 4 losses, they really haven't been terribly competitive. I'm not expecting a whole lot of resistance out of those guys.
All right. Hey, Joe, as always, great stuff from you. Thank y'all for watching, and until next time.